During this video, I'll show you step-by-step instructions on how to create your own whimsical sparkling cat. Inside the kit, you'll receive tips and techniques and examples of other sparkling art painting party in a bags I have available, along with their free online tutorials at nettyprice.com. You'll receive a sparkling mini magnet, an 8x10 canvas board with the black line already painted, paint pots including 2 white, 1 yellow, 1 red, blue, and of course sparkles, a paintbrush, a paper plate, a paper towel, and you'll need a cup of water. Now, one thing that's not included that I used after the painting is dry and complete is a Sharpie. Now you can use a fine point or a regular point. You can use a black felt tip pen, a regular pen, anything black that you may have laying around the house. Okay, with that, let's get started. Now before we get started, I opened up all my paint pots. I kept one white, I'm going to save for later, and I kept the sparkle closed. Now it's really important that you remember that number one, in order to cover the thick black line, you have to add white to whatever color you choose. Also, it's going to take multiple layers. Our first layer that we do is not going to cover the black line altogether. So it'll take layer upon layer upon layer. Now the first part that we're going to start with is on the eyes. If you notice, the cat eyes are nice and big. This is just the socket of the eyes, and what we're going to do is layer shapes on top of the black to create the eye. So here's the little magnet, and you can see the outline of the eye is a box. Okay, so we're going to do yellow and white. I'm going to put it onto my paper plate. I'm using the brush like a paddle and get most of it off, and then I want to get some of that yellow off and get some white on there as well, just dishing it out. Now there's going to be plenty of paint, so don't be afraid to use it. Alright, so we're going to do the box on the outside of the eye. I'm going to dip it in the yellow and dip it in the white and paint a box. Now notice the top of the box is on a slope and it's slanting downwards. So each eye, this eye is going to slope this way and this eye is going to slope on the opposite side. Here I'll show you. Painting a box around the outside of the spot, and notice how they slant this way. That gives the cat an endearing look. The next thing I'm going to do is to go around the outside of the nose and do a triangle shape. And I'm going to soften the edges. And I can soften the edges of the box as well. I don't want it round, but I don't want it so angular. Okay. Now, the next technique I'm going to show you is the fur technique. And the way that works is it's going to go into the black line. The thicker the black line, the longer the fur. So remember, fur grows up and out and down. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to go out into the black line, have a light pressure, and I'm going to go out. I'm not going to cover all of the black line. I'm just going to draw individual hairs. Now it's okay if I don't cover all of the black line. Like I said, that's going to happen through layers. Now I'm going to go out and down. And feel free to stop the video whenever you need to, because I will be going through this pretty quickly. All right. And I'm going to fill in. Now what you can do is do the whole way up and around the outside of the cat. Make sure that you use yellow and white and use lots of paint. Okay, stop the video and continue to go around the outside of the edge. So I finished the background of the blue and I made the thick black line. See, now it's really thin. And I want to get that. This is just the first layer, so I'll do another layer of the yellow and the white of the cat, and go out and make that black line even thinner. I'll cover up with the second layer, the thick black line. But while that dries, what I'd like to show you now is the eyes. So the eyes, we want to make a U shape. We want to leave part of the black showing while painting a U shape. Now we're going to use the thin end of the brush. Notice how we have a wide and then we have a thin end. And we're also going to use the tip of our paintbrush. So I'm going to dip it in the unused white, which I should have a whole pot that's left. Now I want to reserve this pot just for the eyes, and when the eyes are done, then we can use it for the rest of the painting. So I want to get my paintbrush nice and together with my fingers and dip it into the pot, and now I want to make a U. So I'm just going to go around and use the thin side of the paintbrush. I'm going to go over it again. Now don't worry if it gets a little wobbly. This is where the Sharpie marker will come in. Also, just so you know, the Sharpie marker, I do the whiskers and the eyelashes as well. So this is my first layer. I'm kind of holding my hand and the paintbrush is upright. I'm going to go around and do the U. He looks kind of sad right now, but that's okay. We're going to get that done. Maybe we'll make it a little bit thicker. We want to get the white of the eye as close to the black as we can. And a little bit more on this side. Okay, that's good. Now what we're going to do is use the back portion of the paintbrush. I'm going to dip it in and make a dot. And also, I'm going to dip it in and kind of clean up the corners and the edges. So this makes a really nice tool to get into the crevices where you couldn't get before. Okay, now I'm going to dip it in, and I want to put a dot in the same spot on the other side, and I want a dot on the nose. I'm going to get up into the corners and the same on this side, just to touch it up a little bit. Okay, now the next thing that I like to do is we're going to do another layer of the fur. So I'm going to clean off my little edge here. I still want to save this white for the eyes to do another layer, but I'm going to use the yellow and the rest of the white that I had in here. And now I'm going to go around and do another layer around the eyes. Cut in a little bit closer and just go around on the yellow again. Okay, so stop the video. Do a second layer on the yellow around the eyes and around the nose. I finished the second layer of yellow and white around the outside of the fur and around the outside of the eyes and the nose. And I did another layer of red on the heart. The next step I'd like to show you is the white. Now we saved this pot filled with white, and what we're going to do is another layer on the eyes, and then I'm going to show you how to do the eyebrows, the ears, and the muzzle that you can see on your little example. So I'm going to dip my paintbrush into the white. I smushed it together with my fingers, and I'm going to do another layer on the inside of the eye, and this time it'll be a lot easier to paint. The second layer always looks so much better than the first. Go in, do the second eye. And now I want to do the eyebrows. The eyebrows are pretty simple. Just strokes of white paint on the top of the eyes. I also want to do the inside of the ear. So I'm going to dip it in the white and kind of go from the center out. And I want a light wispy brush stroke, like a triangle on the inside of the ear. I'm going to do that to the second ear as well. And just wisp it out. Now you can do multiple layers of this as well. The next thing is I want to do 2 circles at the base of the nose that are like the front part, the muzzle of the cat. So I'm going to paint a circle here, around, and another circle. And keep going around. Now these are really bright and bold, and I can tone it down a little bit by adding yellow to the paint. And then the last part is just the little lip at the bottom. But I just wanted to get a good layer of white on the eyes, the muzzle, and the ears. And now I'm going to go in with my yellow and kind of just tone it down a little bit. Go around the outside and blend it in. And get some more yellow. And go in with the yellow. And now I can use the white freely because I'm done with the eyes. Maybe I'll get some more yellow in there. Mix it right onto the canvas. I'll go up here, maybe do another layer where the eyes are, and around the bottom of his face. Now remember, the fur grows out and down. Okay, so you can work on a second layer of the cat. And now what I'm going to do is I like to put polka dots around the outside of the heart. So I'm going to use this white and the tip of my brush, and I'm going to do little polka dots around the heart. So you can stop the video and continue on with your polka dots and your second layer, or actually this is the third layer of yellow on the kitty cat. Now I want to make sure after I'm done with that layer that I'm going to let it dry completely, and then I'm going to show you how to use the Sharpie marker. Okay? Now we're on the final stages of our painting. It's completely dry, and what we're going to do now is to touch it up with the Sharpie marker and apply the sparkles. So what I like to do with the marker is to clean up any lines that I've lost, and also to do the eyelashes and the whiskers. Now those are optional. I think they look so cute with them. And so here I just went around and cleaned up the eye. The cat eyelashes I like to make nice and long. And they just come out from the top of the eye. And the whiskers I like to make nice and long as well. And they're going to start at the middle of the circle, kind of come out and have a little curve to them. You can do them on the other side as well. You can also use the Sharpie to touch up any fur spots. I wouldn't go over the entire line, but just if you lost anything. Clean up the inside of the eye right there. And now for the sparkles. I love doing this part. Now you can do multiple layers of sparkles. I like to put the sparkle on the heart. I just paint it right on top, just like paint. And I also like to put sparkle above where the eyebrow is. Okay, that's all. I hope you had fun painting with me. Thank you so much for purchasing the Sparkling Art Painting Party in a Bag. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at nettie@nettieprice.com or post a picture of your finished painting on my Facebook page, Nettie Price Sparkling Art. I hope you have a great time painting. Thank you. Bye.